Who is Philip?
I don't know.
Was there Philip?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol neh b'dvarim. And we're in Siman GImmel, and the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, and we're holding Sifchof. So if you remember, we left off last week. By the way, I just want to explain. Usually, when I do a Monday night shir, I do something else, not the regular thing. It's just that I want to get to the end of Siman GImmel. I don't want that this should take us forever and ever to do. I'd love to start and finish me another sugi before Pesach, which is Shinmut Chet, which is Bishul B'Shabbos, which is a very, very important sugi, and Issa de Raisa, and very, very complex, and things that are negated to every Yid, every Shabbos. And oh, very good. So therefore, I'm using tonight the opportunity. Rabbi Lerner asked me to do shir, and tomorrow he'll do the shir. So do tonight Shulchan Aruch, and make some Wednesday night with Shulchan Aruch. Maybe this way we could. Okay. Page Kufchof, summation and Gimel Sifchof. Reish and Gimel Sifchof. So we left off saying a Tanai Chazorah, which is 3 Tanai Chazorah. Huh? Yeah. The 3 Tanoi Chazorah. And what are the 3 Tanoi Chazorah? It has to be the same path. It has to be that it's Oida B'Yodai and for Ashkenazim. And it has to be Daita Lahazik. As far as them is only one thing. It didn't put it al Gabi Karka. These are the 3 Tanoi Chazorah. But we're going to learn to Sunnah Kuntas Achlan. There's really a machlokes at Rishonim. Why do we need Tanoi Chazorah? What were Chazal so worried about that you're not allowed to do Chazorah b'Shabbat? So some Rishonim hold Shema Yechata, and some Rishonim hold because it's needed k'mevashel. It's needed k'mevashel, and it's missing Tanoy. Yeah, if it's missing Tanoy Chazorah, it's needed k'mevashel. The truth is, 2 out of the 3. This is the fact that it has to be Oida B'Yodoi and still in the first part. In a way, it makes very much sense when you're going to say, if it's not in the same pot and it's not in my head. So someone walked into the kitchen. It looks like I'm cooking a Shabbos. Hashay gets a goy. What's going on? The guy takes a pot from the counter. You want to see the act that you're putting it back. Yeah. Okay. Hashay gets a goy.
Right. Even if you took it off after Shabbos time?
Yeah, we're talking about.
We said that.
You need to have Tanoi 3 conditions to return. 3 Tanoi Chazaras. I'm saying 2 out of the 3, I understand that if you're missing, then it's needed Kmevashal. The third one, I'm not exactly seeing. The third tonight was it has to be daite lachzir, that he had bedas.
Nobody knows what it is.
No one knows. No one could read what's on your mind. Tzaddikim could read what's on your mind. No one could read what's in your mind. So if you say mitzad the other reason, which is the reason of the other Rishonim, because achitu is that I can understand. If a person had daite lachzir, so he vestas the Shabbos, and he knows it's all part of the original thing that he took it off and he's putting it back. So it's like chametz, and the Gemara says the whole thing is that he wants to burn it. He's not going to eat it now, because when he's busy burning it, he's not going to eat the chametz because he's burning it. This whole thing is right now he's busy burning it. So how's he going to accidentally eat it? He's busy burning it. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry I went off a little bit on a tangent. Now, Lomdas, we said in order for the chazor we have 3 tanoim. Has to be in the same pot. Your hand is still on it, and
right.
Then we said, but then this din of Reb Chelba, that Reb Chelba said, Lo shanu el al gabe, aval l'toicha also. L'toicha, no way, no how. You're not allowed to put it l'toicha.
Who is it, Reb Chelba?
Reb Chelba, in the Gemara. Reb Chelba, Baguri. Chelbo. Yes, Lamed, Beis, Vav. Rabbi Chelba Omar Rav said, Lo shanu, that the Mishnah is only al gaba. When the Mishnah said that Beis Hillel said you're allowed to put chazorah on Shabbos, so Reb Chelba Yom Rav said that Lo Shona El Gaba, but the Toicha, awesome. The Machlokas Rashi and Toisvus, if you remember, and it seems that the post come along like Toisvus, and Latoicha, you're not allowed to return. Now, what was the problem Reb Chelba had in Toicha? I'm not so sure. The Alter Rebbe for sure doesn't say a reason. Is the reason because
Look like
there's
it's
a bigger
Russia.
chash of chitui, or is it nidik mevash? Ich weiß nicht. Ich weiß nicht. Anyway, um, I would say it's probably chash chitui. Once his mazel toicho, even though there's grufa ketuma, kitchen, his hands are in the oven, so maybe there was a chash of chitui. And
Or while you put it in, it's mechat because it's moving gechalim.
maybe, easy. It'll be mechata while his hands are clicking in the oven. But then we said that Iran said the whole thing of Tanoi Chazorah is only if he took it off before the sunset and then he puts it back after. But Stama Shabbos, there's no Tanoi Chazorah. And Al Rebbe said it's better not to be makel. But a person's makel, the minig is to be makel. But then there's those that applies kula also to the dinner of Chelba and Toich. They say, only if you took it out before Shabbos and we want to in Shabbos. But on Shabbos itself, you're allowed to do Chazor al Toich. The Alter Rebbe said that every Yid should be machmal atzmai, not to rely on such a kula because it's phony baloney. Because that's not what the Ram was talking about. He was talking about Noi Chazore. He wasn't not talking about Chazor al Toich. Okay, this is where we're holding right now. A little bit of a sikum. Now let's continue Sif Chof. You're allowed to be soimech. You're allowed to put a pot near the fire on Shabbos, near the stove on Shabbos. Okay,
Near in the top of the blech.
no, outside.
Outside.
Chutza.
Chutza. Fotzes amayonis chutza. Geen etzel tana shalonu. Af im gufa tafshel nageh bedoifen atana matzad, even if the tafshel touches the doifen. Vafilo husek begefes veitze. ואין גורא וקוטם, alle חסרוינס, שאין לא חשלחית בסוים מחוץ אלוהי, כמו שנסבור למעלה. We're not חושש פחיתוי. ואפילו כבר תסיל כתב של זה מתנה מבויום, וניחל גבי קרתקה, ולא ידעית להחזיר לתויכה, alle חסרוינס. ולא אפילו בסוימך אצלי, he never had in mind to put it backward to be סוימך, ואפילו הוא תו של יושם ונצטנן לגמרי, אלו שבין ישעים בוי. Bishul kagon shu yavish, it's dry, so there's no bishul. Because when something is dry, there's aim by bishlach a bishul. And it's a muta lismach, you're allowed to be saimach levish, and nirek mevashul b'shabbos lachatchila. Because chitu we're not choshesh lechitu when you're outside the tanur, and I nirek mevashul we're not choshesh for that. Shein derech levashul chutz la tanur v'akira v'reidinik saimach keneged medura. That's the svara. Why did the Gemara say saimach is muta? Because Chitu, even not worried. He's not inside the tanner. He's outside the tanner. And neither Gimavashul also not. Because people never cook. You want to make an egg. You're going to put on the fire
And put it next to it.
and crack an egg and put it on the counter. Oh, the heat goes a little to the side. So if you put it on the frying pan, it'll take 30 seconds. If you put it on the counter, it'll take 3 minutes. It's true, but kind of no one does it.
Not cool.
No one does it that way. Even if it's so hot that it would cook on the counter, but the Kenan is tut nicht das Azach. If you want to cook, you take a frying pan, you spray a little bit of Pam, you put it on the fire, crack egg, and you put it on the frying pan. You don't go, you put it on big fire, and the counter on the side is a little hot. So you put a frying pan there and you're gonna crack egg there. Kind of tut nicht das Azach. So therefore, it's not choishish lechitui, A, and B, ain't needed kemevashul. And that's why the maskon of the Gemara was that Soimech is Yemuter. There are those that say it's also to be Soimech. If it's a Kiro Etana Shena Grufim Ktunum, Wusik Begefes Veitzen, the Avshar is a Daitel Achzira Lasamcha Voida Biyode. Even as Alamailas. Daitel Achzira Oida Biyode, Mishum Zere Shem Yechata. We're Gozer, Sha'af Shalin Lismach and Boyam Loichosh Lechitui. Makom makom lan lismach b'Shabbos echmiru yoser lagabi smicha b'Shabbos they were machmir more. Ve'aminig is for the shina. The minig is to be makel. Makom makom shein tzayda kol kach take lochish levanim. If there's such a tzayda, it's better to be mach.
According to the first story, I could take out a schnitzel that was, in the fridge, not the fridge.
I don't want to talk about the schnitzel because the schnitzel is in some shin yutches. and because schnitzel has a little bit of shamnunis that becomes korush, and
No, not the freezer.
refrigerator.
Regular,
It was cooked.
it's cooked or everything. It's just cooked.
Yeah,
So
Bemis
by
is
putting it next to this, I'm not cooking. I'm not
right. So according
warming
to the
up.
Vile, as of
It says
now,
now, according to this vote, I'm not
100%. Yes. And Lamai, we're going to learn at Siman Yud Ches that after the Alter Rebbe wrote this, Shulchan Aruch, he wrote in Siddur Hilchas Erabsa L'Shabbat,
right.
and over there he read a big stink out of something which is that has to be Yovish Lagamri, and even if there's a little bit of Shamnunis that became
So not-
Korush, also not.
Right.
But as of now, yeah, exactly what he's saying here is that okay, L'Kula, that you're allowed to because Ein B'Bishul Acha Bishul. Yovish,
And it doesn't look like a.
and therefore there's no chita. This is some
Like a title.
that's no problem because that's the maskon of the Gemara. You're allowed to be soimech. You're allowed to be soimech. That was the maskon of the Gemara. Now, there's a shtickle alumnus over here. Eh, if you look in the footnote, Reish Beis, who are the oisim is the Ramban, the Rabbeinu Yonah, the Rif, the Rambam. It's brought in Magen Avraham, so cut in the hay. Yeah, so because it's a lashitose. What's the lashitose? The Rambam holds that on Friday, he holds the loch is not like Hananya, like it's like Rabbana. So even if something is fully cooked, and even if it's just mistamek v'yafaloi, you must have a blech. So when the Gemara said lismach ma'u, so you could say the Shaila was on Friday, not on Shabbos. But if you're like Hananya, as long as it was cooked, you don't need a blech. And this is the meaning, but Ashkenazim to be makel, that if it was cooked, so you don't need a blech. So how can you say the Shaila was if you're allowed to be Semach on Friday? On Friday, you definitely can blech.
Right.
Soimech, you can put it on Gaba Eichet. Was Mazag the Shaila was on Shabbos. So Lechoide, the Rav, for example, in the Sefer Reish Shabbos Kaloche, Rav Forkash, so Rav Forkash asked, Vashtanish in Sif Tes, the Alter Rebbe said that unequivocally the meaning is to be made like Hananya. And that means on Friday you don't need a blech as long as it was cooked kamaycha ben soy. So why over here does he say that that you should be a little bit machmer? The malkum shein tzorich is toiv la'achish l'devareim, and to say and to be machmer like the Ramban, the Ben Yoyin, the Rif, and the Rambam. We don't pass like that. It's a hand in a glove. If you say that on Friday you don't need a blech, so later when the Gemara says Lis Machmal, the Gemara says Lis Machmut, means on Shabbos. So if you told me on Friday you don't need a blech, so the Samich is even on Shabbos. So just like over there you were 100% makel, over here also you should be 100% makel. I don't want to tell you his answer because I disagree. So Nishnageh is at Teretz. But I'd say a Dover Poshut. Dover Poshut. It's not a Zoid Poshut. Because the Kuntas Achmans make it complicated. It's a Dover Poshut. That we're on page Kuf Chafala. I'd say Dover Poshut, Azoy. If you remember, there was a Toysvus there. The Toysvus said that when the Gemara said Lis Machmao, the Gemara asked Silot Chanan or Silot Rabbanon. If it was Loit Chananya, the Shaila is. I'm sorry, Loit Rabbanon, the Shaila is. You even if it was already cooked, you must have a blech. Okay, what's if I don't have a blech? So Shaila is Lis Machmao. Chananya, it's also a Shaila. The shaila is it was cooked less than Kemaichel ben Drusoy. It was Friday.
On Friday.
And it was cooked less than Kemaichel ben Drusoy.
You say it's
so
better.
now
It's better.
no, that's Kaila Gambi is better. It was only 25% cooked. Chai, first of all, chai has to be like a dover, which is meat, not vegetables, and also has to be that a minute before Shkia was mamash chai lagamri. So here was 25% cooked. So it doesn't have the mile of Chayla Gamri. So the Toysa says that was the Shaila. So you must have a blech like Chananya. You must have Gorav Kotum. And if you didn't have Gorav Kotum, now you're allowed to be Soimach, and the Shaila is still on Friday. So if aim is a learning b'toisvis, which, not to go back to the whole Lomnitz Sugya, that Toysus was a brilliant trick. That Toysus was able to, because all the other Rishonim, you see the Gemara gate, the Gemara halte vi Rabban and the Chananya. Toysus, no, the Gemara gifre kol chad kedisa. If you hold this way, Shailas this. If you hold like Chananya, Shailas this. Or Rabban, Shailas this. Gemara is equal opportunity employer. Machnish kin geroise Sachen wir. So if you learn like Tosfos, so what did the Gemara say at the end? The Gemara said, I don't care if you hold like Hanan or the Rabbanon. You're allowed to be soimech. Kol chat the Istel. If you hold like the Rabbanon, you always need gruf of the tumah, but you're allowed to be soimech. Or like Hananya, you only need a gruf of tumah if it was less than kamay chavent or soy. And if it wasn't, at least you could be soimech. So we only have a raya from the Gemara that on Friday you could be soimech. Mehechi Taisi and Shabbos you could be soimech. We don't know. So even if you learn like Toysvis, there's a svara to say that you can't be soimech on Shabbos.
Lachmer.
Right, lahachmir. And because there is a shtikla svara, most of the Rishonim are like Chananiah don't learn like Toysvis. It actually doesn't learn like Toysvis. So far, but there is a Toysvis. The Toysvis is a starke man doma.
Soimech on Shabbos means put it with a kira on Shabbos.
Yeah, to be soimech next to the kira on Shabbos.
On Shabbos.
On Shabbos, right. So the child here is it's a hand and a glove. If you hold like Chananya, so Friday you're allowed to do whatever you want. So when the Gemara asks Soimech, it must have been on Shabbos, and we hold like Chananya. So why we not make? Or why the Alter Rebbe says Toiv Lochish Livrein? So Rabbi Forkish wants to say that it holds Kedaifa from to be machmer like the Svardim. It's good,
Or the Rambam.
like the Rambam. I don't. If the Alter Rebbe held that way, he would say in Siftes, and the Alter Rebbe is not shy to say his opinion.
When you put it next to the kira, that's Omar.
No, we're talking. No, not true. What are you talking about? He's talking next. If we'll say, if it was not the Atzalad's boy, what do you mean? Right next to Akita, if it's 500 degrees, so right next.
500 degrees of kira.
What do you mean?
You put
Every
Omar.
oven in America goes to 550.
But nobody use it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes they do use it.
Israeli ovens are not insulated. The kids touch it, it's hot.
Right.
They're insulated, so you don't have.
Right. Exactly. They're insulated. That's what you don't feel. Exactly. And when you have now in the winter, and I know in my house because the heat was getting the Shabbos was getting to 63, 64. So Erev Shabbos, when I put the soup on the blech, always the kids say, Tati, no, make a small fire because the kids are allergic to because the kids want air conditioning. When it's 50 degrees, they need air conditioning. You know how kids are. But this Shabbos
Was so cold.
it was so cold,
Yeah.
so they were happy that I made the fire very big. So you know what, Takazoi? I put my hand on the counter near the fire.
Yeah, third.
So it's a shaykh to be yatzaladis next to. If it's very very hot, if you put a very big fire, it's shaykh to yatzaladis. So anyway, so my maskona is that anyway that
Farkas want to machmer another.
right Farkash comes from here with the whole chumrah that you see that even though the Allah is like Chananya. Oh, the Alter Rebbe holds that the Meram is given that he wants you to be toiv lahachmer like the Rav Adrif. I'm sorry,
That's how I understood it.
I wouldn't. I don't agree with that. I would say if he held toiv lahachmer like the Rav Adrif, he would have said Siftes. He doesn't hold like he's a Dominican Dashkenazim to make it. But over here, why does it say toiv lahachmer? Because even the Toisus that learns the Chananya learns the Gemara that when the Gemara says Ma'al Lismach, the Gemara says it's Mutter Lismach on Friday. We're only Friday, but not on Shabbos. So there is a tzad, even log the Mekilim like Chananya, to say they only allowed to be Semach on Friday, not on Shabbos. So therefore, I'm sorry, Rabbi Forkash, Kenish Lena from the Groise Pullum. Okay, that's it. Sivchafal. This din is not going to be so negay for Lubavitches. I'll tell you why. Because when we're going to learn some Shin Yutches, after we're going to learn that little piece in Hilchas Rav Shabbat. But the Alter Rebbe is very, very worried about Bishul HaChabishul, even if there's a drop of juice. So the only thing that Lubavitch is going to warm up on Shabbos is going to be challah. Challah. There's no juice in challah. Schnitzel, kugels, all these things have a drop of.
Why on top of the challah, with the egg stuff like that. There's no.
Yeah, you could if you could take out challah from the freezer on his own. So you could be mashafshik. You could take off all the all the ice. Say you have more orchim, you need more challah, and you have challah in the freezer. So you could take the challah, you could rub off the ice, you could take a towel even, and then dry it up,
And then
and it's
put it next
yovish
to the
lagamri,
oven.
and then you could put it next to the fire.
You make it toast.
And yeah,
You
so
make
so
it
that is negeya. But most of the time, it's not going to be so
Will
negeya.
be
It's not going to be
lachme.
so negeya.
Will be lachme.
It will usually be lahachma. You're going to be in the mitzvah Hashem. We're going to do a special sheet on the babshi pan, and the mitzvah Hashem bench v'tamna refu shleime ben Zion ben Soros al sein gesund
I feel
stark.
much better.
And the mitzvah Hashem that when we're going to give that sheet already, Bensi will sit here and will tell us about his brilliant invention with the babshi pen. His patented, yeah. His invention and his patent, the babshi pen, Shabbos pen. Okay, weiter. Sifchaf Aleph. So I'm saying this thing of soymach is not so nageya, because most Lubavitchers are not being soymach. If it's yad seledus boy, unless it's challah, which is dry lagamre, we're worried about being soymach if something was just slightly congealed and is now going to become yad seledus boy. It's achshash of isa deiraisa mavashal b'shabbos. So anyway, this thing is not going to be so nageya. Anyway, okay, but anyway, weiter. The din is, the Alter Rebbe says that on Shabbos you're allowed to be soymach, but toiv lahachmir not to be soymach on Shabbos. That means toiv lahachmir is only shein shem tzoyrech kolkach. Usually, what happens is when you want to be soymach on Shabbos, is there is a tzoyrech. What's a geshen? Probably there's a tzoyrech. It was more orchin, something got burnt. It was less whatever. Weiter. This is all when he wants to put it in a place where the yad seledis, the heinish im tavshel zeh shemach zir hoya tzayna. Hoya yochlis cham shom kol kach ad yad seledis boy. What does it mean yad seledis boy? Not that place, if you put your hand, you would say ouch. It means that if this tavshel would have been cold, it would have been warmed up ad yad seledis boy. Alter Rebbe is going to have charot and the kutzach to what he said over here.
Maybe that's why I put it in.
And that, yeah. Every Sagraim the Alter Rebbe put, according to the Rebbe
I'm
Zayde,
not sure.
because he was going to think about it. No, not the Rebbe Zayde, it's in the Akdama from the Bnei Machaber. That he was going to think about it, because he wrote a Madura Basim. We don't have the Madura Basim. But here in the Kuntas Achren, he has a pilpul, and he says, let's finish this paragraph. If there's not yad saladish boy, so no problem. You could put it there. I feel to be soymach. I feel batana should be meim. I feel b'sheinei goruv because any yad saladish boy. That's not called soymach. The Gemara asked.
It's far away from the.
It's far away. The Gemara said, "Are you allowed to be soymach? Not allowed to be soymach." The Gemara talking about b'makom shayad saladish. B'makom sheinei yad saladish. It's 100% mutter. In the good Zachin is going to have pilpul. What does it mean yad saladish boy? Place is as a place. If you put your fan, go ouch, or it's even hotter than that. That if you put ice cold water there and you left it long enough, it's gonna. It's even when you say a place of yad salad, this means I put my finger there for a second and I jump back. To say that I put a cup of cold water and I left it there, and eventually that the water will be so hot that my finger will burn. That's more hot. So how hot is when we say over here that's ein yad saladis boy? So how hot and not hot is it? Do we look at the place, or we look at if I would have put a cold food there? That's the pilpul inside. Let's read it quickly inside. After base here's among them from my bit sign. Chomak mefsher doing in lacham. Then you chazar besmichel in a gorif. After the shiny hosa. The mighty is a bishul. Over there, the Magen Avraham, the Beis is talking about Itza Bishul. Sharei Smichel Tana Shalom Shor Lagamri, which goes with Amos, if some Zeh, Volcha Mighty, Hashem Yakat. The told the Chayma Tana, Kenu Mishmos Lashon Nagos Mortzim and Amov Chanika. The Tzorich Limchik Zeh Bifnim. It's an unusual thing.
Who write it?
This is the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe wrote it. Yeah, very funny. It's very funny.
I'm writing something that I know it's not right.
So why did it not Moichik? Well, we're learning the Sif inside, so because I think maybe it's more because it's this.
Like if you draw 100%, then it will be okay.
Because it's only you would have to rewrite the Sif. You would also have to a little bit rewrite the Sif, and he wasn't going to do it right now. He just wrote. But anyway, the bottom line is from Kutzach we see the Yad Saladis boy because he says Yad Saladis boy. Over here we're talking about Shem Yechata. So as long as it's hot enough that if you put your hand in, oh, face. Oh, maybe if he puts his hand there and it's cold, so I'm gonna start bringing a shovel. You know, what am I gonna do? You know, so my battery in my car is dead. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna fill up my car with gas. The battery is dead. You know, like the guy puts his finger there and it's out. He's gonna be mechata begecholim. Ich verstehe. Du sagst Shash. Anyway, Mafil agabi kira grufa k'tum mutala hachzim imiyede yad shaladisham. Also, on top of the kira, as long as ena yad shaladisham is so I think over here yad shaladis is the way the bracket says, because or maybe not. I don't know. אפילו אגב קידה גרופה כתומה מוטל אז ממני עד של הדשם. לאף בשביל סילק נפשם והגיון מניח לגבי קרקע. ולא בדאית להחזיר כלב, אפילו בפינו לגדר החרס, אפילו תו של יושם ונצטן לגמרי, אפילו יש בו מורג, כפי שכשאין בוי חוים כל כך, שיד שלד is בוי. אין הנראה כמבא של שם לכתחילה, because everyone sees that it's cold, so it's not needed k'mavashel, and it's also not mavashel, because it's a kendlich nish mavashel zayin. It's never gonna.
Yeah, not so.
Yeah. Avalin yelahazel letoich. Avalin yelahazel letoich. Akida. Oy letoich. Satanu. Afilu shalonu. Ein chilik v'nei atzaledis. Leini atzaledis. Unbelievable chumrah. That if you want to put it into an oven, no way, no how. No way, no how. You're not allowed to put it in an oven, even if the oven right now it's garnish. You know, you put your hand in the oven. When a Pchelbe said, "Lo yishone al gabel teicha asur," it's moidedik chumradik. It's moidedik chumradik. Mamish in an oven. Why did I put it in brackets? I would say it's totally because we said before that the Welt said, that the Ran said that all the Tnoi Chazor is only if you took off the pot before Shabbos. If you put it, but if you put on Shabbos, it's not Tnoi Chazor, which is a huge, and on Shabbos itself. When did all the Tnoi Chazor the Ran said? If before the sun set he took off the pot, and now he wants to put back the pot after the sun sets. But Shabbos go for there's no Tnoi Chazor, which is there's no problem. If you take the pot off, no problem. Unbelievable cooler from that on. Unbelievable cooler. And if you test. Unbelievable cooler. And the Alter Rebbe says the minhag oilam was to be make it like that on. Then the Alter Rebbe said they will make it even more. When the Pchelbe said lo yishon al gabel v'teicha also is again if they took the pot off on Friday and they want to put it on Shabbos before the sunset, after sunset, but on Shabbos gufa, no problem. You can put things back in the oven. So the Alter Rebbe said that cooler I don't like because that Ran never said. So therefore, kol echad yachmal atzma, you shouldn't do that. Same thing over here. So could be Reb Chelboi. Reb Chelboi is a very chumra dekadin, and could be why. I would say like this: all the Tanai Chazora we're going to learn now in the Kunsachim, the Alter Rebbe Nemton like that on that the reason you need to have 3 Tanai Chazora is because otherwise it's needed kemevashel b'Shabbos, because the guy took the pot off, he put it on the counter, and he put the soup for the family. An hour later, he comes back, he picks up the pot, he puts it on the fire. A guest that doesn't know better, it looks like he's cooking on Shabbos. When he sees that he took the pot off and his hands are on it, and it's in the same pot, he puts it back, it's not needed to he took what goes off comes back on. But that's what the Ran Shita is. That's why you need to have the 3 Tanoi Chazorah. But why did the Pchelbe say that it's also lahazer al toich atan on Shabbos? So could be that's what I was saying before in the Akdama. Could be that Pchelbe was a different reason, because when do we say if you have go to the kotam, we're not scared you have to be gachol. But the Rambam asks in Atanur, even if it's go to the kotam, it's not going to help. Why? So go to the kotam. So he says because I go if ain't go if ella roiva eish va'atz, but a little bit of colds there is. And Natanur was scared that even a few sparks that travel to hamacheshik to make go to mechata. Maybe Reb Chelbe held the same thing. That's pshat in the Gemara. Reb Chelbe said, "Listen, al gabe, if you have a blech, you have tanoich, it's good. But betoichui, once your hands are in the oven, and there's a few little coals over there, and you see a little psablech, give that kleine musha
Or
hin,
the pot
or the
itself,
pot
when you put
itself
it
is given as
inside,
you go
doing-
whoosh, 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 3 times in the right and 3 times in the left, and you'll move a little bit the gecholim, and then
And
sedver and
mash
haze. And even though you already made gruf ktuma, he was so then, even if it's any yad seled this by, what's the difference? But there's a few colds, and we're very choshish. So therefore, anyway, the maskon of the sif is that if this place is not yad seled this boy, so lagabe soimech, no problem. And like even putting on top, no problem, because not yad seled this boy. So you're not cooking, and it's not needed kmevash. But like have it in a chelbe and I'll put it in the oven. No way, no how. No way, no how. I don't want to hear any coolness. Even if it's Ein Yad Ledes boy, which is like funny, it's like garnished. Ein Yad Ledes boy. So my kula is first of all, I tell the kids to not take out the pan. What they do is they open the drawer Friday night, and they open the cover of the potato kugel, and they cut it and they take it out, and then they leave it there. So there's no tnoi chazara. But the truth is,
Meaning they're taking from the
from there, yeah,
They don't take it out completely.
and they don't take it out. They open the drawer and they take it out. But the drawer comes out, so they open the drawer. Yes, But I think even Bamis is. I think that over here is a yotzim naklal. Why? Because the warmer that I have, not every warmer is that way. The warmer I have, if you put a raw egg there for 12 hours, it'll stay raw. No, but here he said even if it's not it. No, a regular tanur it gets a yad saledis. Right now, it's not yad saledis, but this is not called a tanur. A tanur main it could get 1,000 degrees, get 500, get 300 degrees. Right now, it's in a yad saledis boy. This shelf, a raw egg will never cook in there. So that's why I think lakula. Layesis ace. I tell the kids not to take it out, so they should just.
And if they did took out by mistake,
then I would say it could be made.
they could.
But it's a chidush, and it's not the Heichah Tim Alter was talking about. Maybe I'm being makel, but.
You'd never take something to warm up in this way.
Right, you would never cook anything.
You never cook.
If a person took off a pot from the kilim and boydiyim, and he wants to put it back, and he wants to put it back before Kabbalah Shabbos. Because we hold like Hananya. So this, as long as it's before sunset, I don't care. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. The Yeshaimri, which is Shittas HaTaisis, which we learned it last week. I'm sorry, we learned it online, but we learned that Toisvis, the Toisvis in the beginning of the Masechta. A very chumradik Toisvis. Culture samach l'chashech kol kach sh'imo yitzak deret zenenes lo yosef shalatin b'yod. If it was so close to the chashech, almost like a half hour, 45 minutes, that if this pot would have been cold, it wouldn't be enough time for it to boil. So it's considered as if it's Shabbos already. Also, lachzira lakira zu v'lo lakira acheres. After vida tachas. Ella al derech shemuta lahachze bis Shabbos atzma.
Meaning fully cook.
Mishum gzeh, the has to be
Fully cooked.
whatever it is. Has to be grufuk tuma, and there has to be all 3 tanoich chazoretz in the same pot. He didn't take off his hand. Mishum gzeh sheva yom lahachzir av b'Shabbos atzma. It's a shtickle l'gzeda. But Chacham have the right if they want to make gzeda l'gzeda. Shem yalaz after Shabbos atzim. Avalim hoya yochlar ticha mi boydem. Ela shein shusla dicha koidem Kabbalah Shabbos. If punkt he was Makabel Shabbos a half hour early, in Bekachtlum, we're not concerned about that. Agam, me and you learned last year the big kuntas Ashman. Remember about Kabbalah Shabbos. I remember, and a few years ago we also did the Chifra Rabbi Frumanman.
If you went to a different place,
Yeah, there's two. The Alter Rebbe says there's two dev. There's mitzkabel isam aloche, and or is makabel tzuma shel yoim. The Alter Rebbe was not machalok over here, I think, because, but still, it's all exeter that abonon. It's all exeter that abonon. So even Toisus is like so machmer. Toisus says that as long as an average pot would take 45 minutes to bring it from cold to boil. So 45 minutes of Shabbos, you treat it like Shabbos. Okay, but that's 45 minutes when the sun sets, but not 40. But if I was Makabel Shabbos early, we don't go 45 minutes before I'm Makabel Shabbos. Ad kede kachem chachamim nicht goyze gewesen. Nicht das am chachamim gemeint. Nicht das am chachamim gemeint. Unless you're going to learn, like remember with the Sicha the Rebbe, the 3 Shittas and Tesefes Shabbos, and the Mechilta holds, we don't pass in that way, not like the Shas Shalonu. The Mechilta says that Shabbos is a Zev, Toidev, Melafonov, Al-Achra, and the Rebbe says it's a Heftzah, it's not a Gavre, a whole thing, that the Shekdush Shabbos itself, it's like it's a Zev Aleina, eat it up, but we don't pass in that way. So, the reason Toises Machmer is because the Gemara says, Amr b'Sheisus, Amr b'Oishia, that Lamanda machzirin afila b'Shabbos. So Tosis says, what does it mean afila b'Shabbos? No, on Tuesday, who needs a blech on Tuesday? What does it mean afila b'Shabbos? So Tosis came up with this pshat that as for a half hour before Shabbos, or however long it takes for a pot to cook from cold to boiling, we treat it as if it's Shabbos, and you need all Tanoi Chazorah. Anyway, it's a big chumrah. The meaning is to be makel, not like Toisvus. If there isn't so much at tzorich, toiv lahachmir, it's good to be machmir. L'chein toiv l'zor shlelit l'agdera makira, v'tana shenes bash l'sham, v'lit n'sam al chashech al gavatan v'esachaydev, shehu ein agor v'kotem ima yad tzeledes boy, elim keim anir shom do v'tachas kedera. That if it's within a half hour before Shabbos or however long it takes to cook, that you shouldn't put
Talking about blech.
unless you have a blech. It's not so clear that Alter Rebbe holds that also you need all Tanoi Chazar. I think you do, and it's mashma this way to me from the little bit of Kunt Pesachim. But let me explain. Let me first explain what's the big chumrah over here. It's a huge chumrah, Bemis. It's not stama chumrah. Let me describe to you. Before Shabbos, how does it work in a Yiddish house? How does it work in my house? My wife is busy lighting the candles. I have to put the chicken soup on the blech. Sometimes there's more than one pot. There's a chicken soup, maybe there's something, another dish, and a third dish. Even if it's one pot, chicken soup, right? Okay, so what do? I take the pot, I put it on the side, I go get the blech, I adjust the fire, and I'm looking that the fire should be the right amount of fire.
And then you do chazorah.
And then I put the blech, and then I put the pot back. According to
Right.
Tosis, it's awesome. There's no Tnoi Chazor. I took my hands off the pot. And
Even
now,
even though you had the dat olaf, the reason you took it off to put the blech.
5 minutes. The chicken soup's taking 5 minutes.
no, if it would have been soinen, how long does it take
5 minutes to cook a pot of chicken.
from cold till boiling?
Oh,
Try it.
wow.
I have to take a pot.
Maybe a small pot. I'm
chicken
talking about a
soup
big
take a
pot
while.
that has 30 people.
Not a half hour.
No?
Take more
I'll
than
tell you
an
what.
hour.
I have to
Big
check.
pot? We
But
got pot like
I'm
this.
boidig sein. I'll be boidig this week. I'll be boidig. Check with the chicken soup pot. See.
What makes
Because-
it longer to cook?
No, without the blech. Blech.
More than 10 minutes.
I would say it takes more than 10 minutes, more than 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes a long time especially that the chicken is inside the vegetables, and it's not like, huh?
I mean, it takes maybe 5-10 minutes.
No, tried this Friday.
Yeah.
Kiba cook.
No, even a frozen chicken soup gets frozen on the thing takes maybe 15.
No, frozen chicken soup is anders.
It's less.
It's less time because it's it ain't bishul like a bishul, it's chidush hayeshonis.
But a new uncooked pot.
Right?
Oh, not
Okay.
eating.
No, not reading.
Oh,
How long it would have taken.
Sure, I'm not that.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
So
it doesn't mean raw. It means cold.
could be. You're right. I hear your pshat. I wasn't thinking of it this way. But the emesis depends. At some point, so I'm running late, right? So
Isn't it the
If-
soup was done before Shabbos?
ich verstehe. Still, Tosfos holds that if say this pot would have taken, and okay, maybe your pshat is right. He's not talking about going from raw to cooked. If it's already, it's Soinenis. But naniach lama sagen. So and now your pshat is going to help. But naniach even
You
that it
find out
takes
you have
10
more
minutes.
guests all of a sudden.
So it takes 10 minutes. So okay, but what happens if there's only 5 minutes for shkia? So according to Tosfos, now that you took the most time when you do a blech, you don't have to know chazorah. What do? You take the chicken soup, you put it aside, then you go wherever wherever your blech is usually hiding out, somewhere in the kitchen. Say lick the blech, and you take the blech, and then you start adjusting the fire to make sure that the fire is not too small to be dangerous, chas v'shalom, with big gas, and not too high that the kids will scream and yell that I made that house too hot.
I put my hot plate on with a timing, so he gets.
I do.
Hot plate is completely different.
No, but so no hot plate. You could say the Shlomo Zalman holds that it's considered like a but still, if you take off and put it on, you would have to have Tnoy Chazorah. It's the same problem.
Right.
So according to Tosfos Taka, you would have to do this whole thing, put the blech. Yeah, however long it takes. If your pshat is right, it's not 30 minutes. It'd be about 15 minutes. Okay, but the halach is not like Tosfos. It just says if it's shayich, it's toivli zohar. It's toivli zohar. Listen, when it's 5 minutes to shkia, it's shanish toivli zohar. This is if you're a chacham, ein beroisha, and mishtelt the blech, b'moed moed. So then you were mekayim also shittas Tosfos. Okay, let's leave it at this. So we're holding Sifchav GImmel. So Mitzvah Shem tomorrow, Rabbi Lerner, and Lineder Wednesday night we'll go Chav GImmel, Chav Dalet, Chav Hey. We'll try to move as much as we could.
Need one more person.
Iran is a wild hula. Who Deran holds it all the Torah Chazorah.
20. Yeah, for what you want. We need a minyan.
He's calling his son.
I know, but
No, it was.
he's numbered. Everybody's important.
Yeah, it's very nice. So Deran is a wilde kula, but that's the way he holds. He holds that the whole sug in the Gemara that you need to have Tnei Chazorah has to be oida b'yodei, then for Gavikar kedai talachzira. That's all if you took it before the sun sets. And now the sun sets. This needed can be mashal b'Shabbos. So therefore you need Tnei Chazorah. But on Shabbos Gufa, Chazorah, you might have b'Shabbos Gufa. Yeah. This is for 20 minutes.